Hello everybody, we got another random little metal B-Daman let's build here. As I said, I was going to build the other one kind of quickly after. So, because currently I have 3 of them. As in the last video we built Mr. I forget the name of it. Why am I forgetting? It's like a red dragon. Ryu Rai, which I just got the box of. In today's video we are building Zafca. Man, these names get weirder and weirder. And of course we have the beetle guide that I've not looked at the name yet. But to be honest, these names get weirder and weirder. At this point, it's probably easier to call them Shark and Dragon and Bug. Like, seriously, these naming conventions are getting a bit weird. I don't know how I'm supposed to remember Zafca. Like, that's a bit much. So, I guess let's look at the box before I do start busting it open. So, of course, we have our basic little metal B-Daman here, which kind of the same design as the last one. The metal B-Daman don't really swap out much, really. Our little marble thing, though, our little target practice shot, is actually a bit different this time around, which is kind of exciting. So, kind of weird that they threw a red one in this one, and the blue one in the other one. Like, you see there's a blue one right there, and the other set got a red one. I don't know what that's all about. You can see the little background thing of people playing around with some some metal B-Daman. And the whole gimmick, I'm guessing, is that it's a small B-Daman, so you can kind of carry it around with you and take it to school and stuff like that, or take it to work. Which, I'll be straight up honest, I can see that. These things are absolutely tiny. Like, they are so tiny. I mean, look at these guys. Like, that's very easy fittingly in my pocket. And how portable these guys are, too. Like, the marble just slides on in. And that marble ain't leaving either, because guess what? It's all magnetized, so it's not leaving. That's kind of cool. I found that out, like, right after the second video, because I was playing with this guy. Or right after the first video, blah. So I was playing around with him a lot more. Because in these Let's Build videos, I don't really get to play around with them too often, because I don't want to make the videos too long. But yeah, not too much going on. Still north and south magnets, kind of interesting there. And, yeah, kind of the same whole little gimmick, I guess. These metal B-Daman don't change too much. It's very easy to sit down and mess around with them or whatever. I do like the designs of them. I don't know. I really appreciate the whole chibi aesthetic they went with these guys. I don't know, something about that whole look and style of them is kind of nice. I do wish they had a bit more better gimmicks, though. I don't know. That kind of seems like a bigger one from my side of things than anything else. From Zafca over here. I mean, come on. So we got our little headpiece here. The magnet piece is actually very tiny this time around. So it's kind of weird to think about that. I did actually find my proper cutters this time around, so it is very much going to be easier. The core is, of course, very similar to the last core, so that's kind of worrisome. Hoping these builds aren't all just the same thing, but like different bodies, colors, and stuff like that. There's our little metal B-Daman there. It is very much smaller than the standard B-Daman, by the way. If anyone is curious, the standard B-Daman is, like, very much way larger. I guess a good way to describe these guys is the HMS of B-Daman, where they're just smaller in design, weirdly. That's a Beyblade reference. I don't know how many people mess around with Beyblade while messing around with B-Daman, but that's a good little example there, I guess. And of course, there's nothing else in the box. These boxes are very bare bones, very minimum, very minimalist in a way. We got our nice blue styling, though, which I kind of prefer the blue over the red. I don't know. Looks a bit more nicer, I say, in my opinion. We got the red shield here, which this is the weird part to me. Because why would we throw a red shield in here? I don't know. But let's look at it anyway. So let's see. Come on. Come on. Man, these things are pain to get out. So here's our shield this time around. I guess we'll throw bubble wrap on the floor. There's going to be a lot of bubble wrap on the floor. So here's our little shield design here. This is actually very different from the last shield we looked at, where you see the last one we looked at was very much more of an X design. This time around is a Y design. And I see this one's blue and this one's red, which is kind of weird. Don't know why they swapped the colors on them. I think this would have made a lot more sense. Yeah, except matches the body perfectly. I don't know. Kind of weird design points there. Guess that makes more of sense than story-wise or whatever. I don't know. These guys have weird stories already. Like, they're just on a desk in a school or whatever. As I said in the last video, I'll probably try repeating some of the trick shots I did in some of these things, because why not? It seems like it'd be a fun task to sit down and accomplish. So we got our springs here, still very much a standard spring size. We got the metal B-Daman itself, which is uber tiny. Like, this is super tiny. They don't even include 2 of these things, they only include 1, which is crazy. Because I feel like those are so easily lost. And of course, we have our instructions here. And of course, the sticker sheet that I won't be using in this video because I'm going to scan it and stuff like that. The usual stuff. I do love the eyes on these guys, by the way. Like, the eyes on the metal B-Daman looks so nice. I really love the whole, like, yellow to, like, weird sort of aesthetic there. Like, something about that is really nice, in my opinion. And of course, as we open this up here, we see our own little instruction sheet here. It's very much going to be the same process as last time, just a different head mold. So it's kind of sad there. And of course we have our little shield gimmick this time around, which I guess we get to mess around with it a bit more. I guess we can launch it or whatever in a weird sense. And of course you have the hold gimmick where you can have them hold it in the hands and put the marbles in the body and stuff like that. Kind of weird. And of course you could put the marbles wherever and even stack the B-Daman. Which I guess you could do, actually, huh? Well, you can't actually stack them. That is funny to me. And, of course, we got our little manga story this time around down here. As you see, he gets hit in the head with it. There's another B-Daman shooting at it. I always like how it's a sequel B-Daman, by the way. If anyone's noticed that, like... So if you look at the top of the box here, in the instructions or whatever, they always show off the one that comes in the next set or whatever. So in the original Guy's manga, you saw him in the box on the whole little manga comic panel thing or whatever, and this time around we're seeing this guy on the manga comic panel. Kind of cool. Kind of cool to see that in a way. So yeah, pretty much we're just seeing the later guys in each one. These are kind of reminding me of little cereal adverts or whatever. That's kind of what the feeling I'm getting out of these are. And yeah, not too much going on with it. Just showing us how far the things launch or whatever. And they do actually launch pretty far when you're shooting them. Like, they are very much like a far distance trigger type thing. It's kind of cool. But yeah, not much going on with the story, and not much going on with these builds, really. So, I'm going to sit down, trim out all the pieces, and we'll be back in just a second. So, I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye-bye. I'm going to put this marble on the target here, because I really don't want to lose that. Okay, we'll be back. Woo! And we are back from trimming all the parts. So let's get into building this whole fun little B-Daman here. So of course, as like last time, pretty much very similar process. So we take our little spring holder part here and we're going to insert it into the core. Kind of simple. Just plop it on there. And there you go. Clips it nicely into place. And then that's pretty much all that is for a little core piece here. Because now we're going to insert our trigger. And of course, you don't put the spring in just yet because these things are very tiny, so the spring actually kind of gets in the way before putting the trigger in. Unlike a lot of other B-Daman where you could sort of mash them all together or whatever. Not in this one. This one actually does it. So for the spring, you want to take the small side and put it into the core side, and then take the bigger side and put it into the trigger side. And of course, be very careful while doing this, because you don't want to lose these springs. So, be very careful. You could just see if I can... It's not easy shoving a spring in there. It very, very much isn't. So there we go. We got our spring in there. Got a nice solid in there. And of course, you see got the nice little trigger mechanism. And you see my giant fingers compared to this thing. Like, ugh. My fingers aren't even that big, to be honest. It's just insane how tiny these are. Like, that is crazy. They're still somehow sort of comfortable, so I'm kind of glad about that. So, okay, you gotta give that metal B-Daman. And of course, all you have to do for this is just insert it into the back here, and it just plops on in nicely. I need to adjust the trigger a bit more. Okay, no, I don't. It's just very weirdly done. Okay. Making sure about the spring. I'm like, I don't want to break that. Yeah, so we're just going to take our little core here, and we're just going to shove it on in. That did not go in as nicely as I was hoping it would. I don't know why. So the idea is these little tab pieces just kind of insert into this thing. There's no hold parts for the backing of it, by the way, so don't expect like some crazy power gimmicks and stuff like that. These just kind of slot on in very nicely. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm having fun with that back one here. And these things kind of have the same gimmicks overall. They're pretty much the same body molds or whatever. So, kind of cool in that sense. I don't know. These are very much cheap beat-em-on that they built. There's not much going on for these guys. And of course, there's our main guy here. Overall, we're still building him up. So, let's put on his arms and stuff like that. Make sure you do get the arms a bit equaled out, I say. Oh, as I drop the arm, of course. So, pretty much you want to get... I'm going to say about there. I feel like that would be a nice point for the arm. I don't know. These arms are still movable in the thing. They just don't move as nicely. So. Okay, maybe I didn't do it as nicely as I probably should. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to move this arm up a little bit. You do want the fist a little bit up there. Let's see if I can adjust it slightly down. There we go. That works out very nicely for me. And that just works in general. Very nice. And of course, now we assemble the last part, which is the head, which is actually the most complex part of the whole build, really. Because, yeah, there's not much going on for these little beat-em-on builds. So all you have to do is insert the fin into this little top hat part here. I kind of like the design of this a lot better than the dragon's whole horn thing. I don't know. It looks a bit nicer, I say. The whole shark design philosophy is a bit nicer, in my opinion. I still don't like how these helmets come together, though. These helmets do not come together as nicely as I would want them to. But, let's see. Yeah, these helmets do not come together as nicely as I want them to. Don't know why that is. Like, all the pegs are already inside the thing, so I don't know. Maybe that's just how these things are. That or I have to use an uncomfortable amount of pressure for these things. I don't know. I'm going to say that's good for right now, because that just kind of works and looks nice. And of course, all you have to do is take your B-Daman and just put this on there. And wow, that holds so much nicer than the dragon one. Like, that is so much nicer. And of course, it doesn't fall off. I mean, dragon one's just a little bit loose. I don't know why they designed it to be so loose. But this shark one is so nice. Like, I was not expecting it. And of course, that's kind of the build for the guy. And of course, we do have the weird little shield piece here, which I guess we'll look into. Slap the marble in there. That one actually goes in very nicely. And of course, the marbles don't fall out. Oh, wow, that one did, actually. I guess the magnets are weakening on these things. I mean, this thing is almost 20 years old. Currently, it's sitting at the age of 18. So the magnet's not as strong on this one as the other one, but that's okay with me. I guess we can finally try out the one gimmick for us. Let's see if I can get this to pop on out real quickly. And I want to see... So yeah, his helmet is very loosey-goosey. The red dragon guy, his helmet's very loose compared to the shark boy over here. So I'm kind of curious of how many marbles these things can hold. So let's see, we're at... Oh. Put another marble in. So yeah, they can only hold about 2 marbles in there. So that's kind of interesting. And we can only put this guy to the side right now. And I'm guessing we'll mess around with this little red target here and show that off. Because why not? So these targets can be used in multiple ways. For example, you can attach them to the hands of a different beat-em-on and shoot it down. So for example, let's say if I take this dragon guy here and just insert this into his little beat-em-on hands. This is the first time I've ever seen beat-em-on hands be very usable. It's kind of weird in a way. But yeah, so let's say if I insert that into his little hands here and just place him down right like that and just aim for him and just... Here, let's adjust the camera to be a little bit more towards the whole direction there. And let's say if I just go and shoot. There you go. Kind of knocks him down very easily. overall, not too crazy there. And another little fun game you can do, besides that, is just kind of place the target in the middle. I don't know why I have the one B-Daman on my hands. Oh. Do it like this instead. We'll slide that back in his little hands there. And yeah, we'll slap the little B-Daman back in that guy's body, because we already have one inside the shark already. So, and if we aim it again, which is kind of nice, so you can have a lot of slope points to use. We'll use the easy slope side, I guess. I don't know. These things are very nice. And of course, you could just go and whoop. Oh, that did not actually catch onto the magnet this time. Let's see. This might actually be the harder side to shoot onto, which is very nice. Yeah, there we go. Those things launch, by the way. Like, the minute they catch onto that, those things will flip out of control. It is crazy to watch that sometimes. Like, those things just flip. Like, no matter what, they will flip, like, insanely. And overall, like, the design of these things is very cool. I think this is the best part about Metal B-Daman, is the targets themselves. Like, the Metal B-Daman themselves are very basic and, like, they're kind of pointless in design and stuff like that. But, like, the actual gimmick with the targets here is probably the best part of this. Because, like, you can sit there and have, like, a whole launching match and be like, how far can I launch this? And whatever, like, it's very nice. Like, those things are so cool. Like, this has been my favorite part about Metal B-Daman, is just the targets themselves. These are such a cool part of this whole entire line. Like, so far, messing around with these things, because, like, each one comes with their own little metal target, I'm guessing. I don't know. I guess I'll find that out in the third one I build. Currently, this is, like, 0-1 and 0-2 of the line. And I do have 0-4, so I guess we'll find out in 0-4 when I'm building him up. But, it's kind of weird with it, little gimmicks and stuff like that. And these guys are kind of easy to store and stuff like that as well, because you see you can stack them on their heads. Well, they don't stand while stacking them on their heads, so I guess they're not as mess around, like, you can't really fully mess around with them as nicely. Maybe it's just, yeah, so kind of weird gimmicks you can mess around with overall. Kind of cool in a weird sense. And of course, if you want to live your weird triple glusion dreams, in other series, they would have made you do some weird combination thing. In this one, it's just that. You can easily combine both of them by just doing something like that. And they're very easily combinable, because it's magnets. That's just very much it. Overall, Metal B-Daman, very simple. If you find them for a cheap price, I recommend them. Don't spend an exorbitant amount of money on these things. These are such simple creatures, and the most fun you're getting out of them is the whole metal target gimmick. Like, you're not getting DHB and stuff like that, or DHB, Break Bomber, like, out of this one. And they're very weak on their shots as well, so it's kind of mixed bag overall. But if you can find them for cheap, then I recommend them. Overall, they're kind of just whatever. It's very much just weird magnet stuff, and you can easily just do whatever you want with the magnet stuff. Like, they're very much, you can sit down and just slap them onto whatever. Oh, the positions are flipped on this guy. That's kind of cool. So you can actually put it on the right this time. And there we go. It's kind of cool in a weird sense. See, can I do it properly? So yeah, there we go. There you go. You can make it look more like a proper combo, like doing that. I don't know. These things are just kind of weird to mess around with. I didn't pay much for them. I've been enjoying them. So that's pretty much all I'd say for right now. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you on the last of the Metal B-Daman videos as of now. I'll probably be buying more of these things, because I'll be straight up honest, I've been really enjoying this whole gimmick. So I'll probably finish up the line. I don't know. These are really fun to mess with. So thank y'all for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.